live in Ely's restaurant in Ridgeland, Old Town Ridgeland, Mississippi, and I'm joined tonight with Mr. Cliff Torrence, who's the CEO and I guess everything, executive director of whatever title you
founder
want of Retriever Incorporated. Cliff, thanks for being on the show with us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, for those people who don't know, what is Retriever Inc.?
Retriever is Mississippi's only home-based credit card processing company. Founded the company here in Mississippi. We are a nationwide company. We're the fourth largest in the nation, and we handle about 83% of all the credit card transactions that happen in the state of Mississippi.
How in the world did you get started? I mean, that sounds like not the typical business that one would go into. How in the world did you, Cliff, enter into the credit card processing business in the first place?
You know, you asked me that question, and it's spontaneous, and I have to tell you that really the first word that came to my mind was crazy. You know, you have to be crazy.
All entrepreneurs have to be.
You know, it was an idea, and it was an idea that was birthed from the standpoint of the merchant. I had owned several other companies, and I always struggled with this credit card solution. Did not know how to resolve that. And through the experiences I had through many years of owning other companies, I decided, you know, this would be something that if I got into this service business, because really at the end of the day, credit card processing really is credit card services that we do for the merchant. And I decided, you know, I can perform these services, I can take care of the needs of that merchant in a way that they will appreciate. And so that's what started the whole idea of this company.
And you started how many years ago?
We've been in operation in Mississippi just over 10 years. I've been in this industry just about 16 years.
Now, most businesses do accept credit cards. So what distinguishes what you do from other like-minded companies? I mean, why would somebody choose Retriever Inc. to help them with their credit card transactions?
Well, most merchants, the first time I visit with them, excuse me, their knee-jerk reaction to our industry is, tell me your rate. What is your rate?
Right, percentage and...
Right,
yeah.
You know, they want to save money, and I respect that greatly. You know, that's really what we all are, you know, want to do. We want to do that for our business. I will tell you, Jack, if we got in a time ship and we went forward 5, 10 years from now, no one is going to ask me about rate. Everyone is going to ask me about security. You know, how do I know that that card data that I accept in my business is being protected? Because at the end of the day, if it's not, you're on the hook for that.
Because we don't think anything about it. I mean, you know, you give your credit card to somebody in a restaurant, you think it's taken care of. But you're saying that's not the case necessarily.
That's not the case. That's not the case.
So why are you different?
What makes us different is that we are going to make sure that every merchant that we sign up, we will make that merchant PCI compliant, and we'll educate that merchant on the pitfalls of our industry. Meaning, you know, how is that data handled? You know, are you storing credit card data in your office? Is that on the Rolodex? It should not be. It should be in a safe. You know, We're going to train these merchants in the proper methods associated with taking cards. And the thing today, Jack, is we can make a merchant compliant today. We can do all the due diligence and make that happen. 6 months from now, with all the laws that change, all the things that happen in our industry, that merchant's not compliant again. So this compliance is a ever-evolving, you know, animal. It's always going to change. It's always going to change. So, you know, with us, what we're going to do is we're going to take you from point A to point Z every year that you're with us. As these changes in our industry happen, you don't have to research it. You know what? That's our job. That's our service we give you.
But the other companies don't do this?
That's correct. They do not.
Really?
What they'll do is they'll send you a letter through your merchant statement saying, you know, you need to do this or do that. You know, these guys, they're in their business, you know, making hamburgers, making donuts, you know, selling stuff. They don't have time for that.
They don't think about it.
Yeah. You know, that statement comes in the mail. How many times do you open a statement and not really read every single thing in that? Most people don't. But yet, that's the loophole that our competitors are going to take advantage of that particular merchant on. What we're going to do is we're going to visit with you and say, you know what, you need to do this. And if we have to notify you in a statement and you don't respond, we're going to visit you, you see. And that's where that service comes in. We're the only company in Mississippi that has active service reps in the field. Everyone else has a sales rep.
Mm-hmm.
You see, we have our sales reps, we also have our service reps. And these guys go around and we'll know when that particular merchant needs help, and we'll visit that merchant and make changes with their account.
Well, given what you've just told me, I take it you and your staff have to stay on top of a lot of regulations.
We do.
Or changes in the industry. So how do you do that? I mean, do you get updates? Do you go to conferences? How's that done?
Well, the way that we process our cards direct. So any changes that are made in our industry, the credit card processing industry, we're notified of those changes way before you would ever be notified as a merchant. So we take that message to the merchant. We're the person that takes that to the front lines. And that's what separates us really from the competitors that we have. And there are a lot of competitors that will, tell you, look, we will talk about your rate, that knee-jerk reaction of everyone in this industry. They'll talk to you about that rate, but they will not talk to you about what I'm talking about. You see, because that's what separates more or less the men from the boys in our industry. If you're going to really do your job and do it properly, I need to talk about rate, but you know what? I also need to talk about protecting your company, because if your business has a breach,
that could be it.
It will probably wipe you out.
Well,
probably.
how successful have you been? I mean, tell me about the number of customers you've got in state, and also how well you've done in the region, Cliff.
We virtually have thousands of customers in the state of Mississippi. We've got thousands nationwide. It is our premise that we're going to approach every merchant with the same idea, and that is, let me look at your individual business. I'm not going to put your business into a cookie cutter. Every business is different. Your business may have certain exposure that the next business does not have. So it should not be in a cookie cutter. What I'm going to do is take your business, look at it individually. And this is the way we train our staff, you see. So once we look at your business and we discern from that you need A, B, and C, then what we do is we go forward and do that.
And you can do any type of business, right? Retail, correct. Restaurants like, Ely's, here we're sitting in now, any type of establishment, business
That's
establishment.
Correct.
What's the most fun part of the job for you? I mean, obviously you're an entrepreneur, you're successful, you've got challenges, we all do in this day and age, but what's the fun part for Cliff Torrence?
Jack, I have a passion in explaining our industry to a merchant. Merchants do not understand our business. They think that there's a magic person behind a desk somewhere that says, I like Jack, I'm going to give him a low rate of this. I don't like this person, I'm going to write their rate at this. They just, it's unknown to them. So once I get in front of a merchant and I can sit with them and deal with all the fireworks, because there's always fireworks. Yeah. And once I get past that and I can say, look, let me explain to you how our business works. It is built on risk. The riskier the transaction, the higher rate you pay. Let's work on fixing your risk problem. And once they understand that, then at that point, we can fix their problems, and they understand that. The more they understand of our business, the easier it is for them to make changes that need to be made with their business. And to me, my passion in this business is seeing that light switch on with that merchant where they go, gosh, Cliff, I get this. I never knew that. I never knew that.
And do you hear that a lot from clients?
Every day.
You've saved me money, you've saved me time, you've given me a sense of security. You hear
That's
it?
correct. And you know what? Sometimes I hear today, twice, I heard merchants say, Cliff, you know what? Your rate is about what I'm paying now. But I never knew all these other things. I never knew my exposure, and I would be foolish not to switch for you for the same money. Sometimes, Jack, I hear, Cliff, for you to do all this stuff, your rate is actually a little higher than what I was paying. And in that case, Cliff, it's worth it to us to make this change because of the exposure that we have as a company.
Right.
You see, again, if we got in a time ship and we went forward 5 to 10 years from now, no one will talk about rate. The way that businesses are stolen from today is through a credit card. It's not through counterfeit money. It's not through a check. Think about it. The only way left is either break in and steal a steak, which they're not going to do that,
right,
or they're going to break in through your credit card system. So most of the merchants that I visit, the burden of proof on that transaction lies with the merchant. We can create a scenario where that burden of proof will fall on the consumer. That right there is the passion of our company, and we can do that. And we do that nationwide with lots of companies.
The passion shows, and you say nationwide, but this is a local company, Cliff Torrence, Retriever Incorporated. Cliff, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you've done for Greater Jackson business and for what you're doing with the business community, not only in Mississippi, but throughout the country.
Thank you very much.
Cliff Torrence. Stay with us. We'll be right back.